Warning, the following audio transmission will forever change your outlook on society. You will no longer believe the narrative. You are about to wake up and see things for what they really are. News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Everywhere on social media, at Jester Dooms. The website, jestersvoice.com. Go there for all things me and to purchase an Apocalyptic Apparel t-shirt. Don't forget, you can leave me an audio message at the top of the screen. You want to tell your scooter. It is Thursday, April 9th, 2026. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Thursday. You've got one more day after today and you've made it to the weekend. That's what's happening. That is what it is, guys. That's it. You're getting. Anyway, producer Scooter, how the hell are you over there? That's good. Are those new glasses? Fucking nerd. Anyway, I hope everybody had a great Wednesday. Mine was fair. You know, not the best Wednesday. Nothing too exciting. Nothing really to write home about. Our guy that was out here doing some excavation work for us had his big machines out here, had completed his job, and he has vacated the property, which is good. He is paid up. Everything is fine. Now we should be hopefully onto the big bad retaining wall coming soon. Hopefully soon. And I don't think that, I don't know. I'm hoping that either today or tomorrow they're going to start coming out here and delivering material and things, but you know, who rightly knows? Anybody's guess what is going to happen. So we're still dealing with this throat cough issue thing. As you're listening to this, I will be, for the rest of the day after I get done getting all the little people where they need to go, I'll be packing up my things because I am headed down to Florida for the weekend. Yes, we celebrate the Greek Easter, Christo Anesti, to everybody out there that celebrates Orthodox Easter. So we're going down there for that. Should be a damn good time. It's exciting. It's always fun experiencing new cultures. So go do that. Go see my in-laws, which I'm never too thrilled about. It's not my favorite thing to do. Mainly because I know my in-laws just don't much care for me. I don't think that they do. They tolerate me. It's my mother-in-law. Man, the episodes I could do about my mother-in-law. Jesus. She despises me. She doesn't even refer to me by name anymore. She refers to me as the asshole. She'll ask my wife, what is the asshole up to? And I never referred to her when she's talking to her mom. I never refer to her in a derogatory manner. But now I do. And it's usually just like, what's her crazy ass up to? You know, that's it, you know. But she makes it a point to hear that I hear it. Like it's some stick at me that she's calling me an asshole. I've been called so much worse shit over the years, man. Look, that doesn't, I've got thick skin. Doesn't bother me. But if her old ass thinks she's getting a win, that's fine. Because one day, like, I'm going to have the last laugh, because one day we're going to come down to that decision, because God's a jokester. He's funny. He is. He's going to make sure she lives a very long time. And he's also going to make sure she becomes my problem, because he's funny that way. And what's going to happen is I'm going to be like, hey, you know, not in my house. She's going to have to go to a home. And then I'm going to look at her when she's all decrepit in her wheelchair, and I'm going to be like, so who's the asshole now? Have fun. Have fun at the nursing home. Remember, the asshole put you there. Just remember that. I will drive that point home. I can be a spiteful motherfucker, going to be. Years of torture from the in-laws. But yeah, so that's gonna be great. So excited for that, to see the in-laws and the driving. Also not too excited or fantastic for last Airbnb experience, which I think we talked about yesterday, was not a great one. So I'm not too excited to stay at another Airbnb in the area, but you know, we'll just kind of fucking make do, I guess. I don't know. Crapshoot. Forgive me. I'm extremely tired. Have not been sleeping good. I've got a new flavor of liquid death in front of me today called Mountain Don't. Mountain Don't. I've not seen this one before today, but it is called Mountain Don't. And I guess it was their take on Mountain Dew. And I got to tell you, I think this would make a good mixer. Drinking it by itself is not so fantastic. And the only way to describe the flavor of this, it almost reminds me of Surge. If you guys remember Surge, it kind of tastes a little bit like Surge. But I haven't had Mountain Dew in years, so maybe it really does, and it's just not hitting the receptors like it should. Maybe. I don't fucking know. I'm exhausted. I'm delirious. I'm just trying to keep it all together at this point and mentally prepare myself for this family road trip with all the crotch goblins plus the dog, because we have to take the dog places now because the dog is elderly. He's kind of blind. He has no clue what's going on anymore. And we just feel like for the benefit of his survival, he has to go on trips with us now. And in my mind, I'm like, well, if he's going to die, he's just going to die. It don't matter if he dies at home or on a road trip. If he dies on the road trip, that's great for us because now we got to haul around a dead fucking dog because my wife's not going to let us bury him out of state where she can't visit him. Yeah. Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages.
Can't get enough of Jester Dooms? Check out his other show, It's Doomsday Podcast, available on all podcast platforms. That's It's Doomsday Podcast.
Back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. The website, jestersvoice.com. Everywhere on social media at Jester Dooms. Yeah. So, I don't know what the fuck is happening with this Iranian ceasefire, this whole deal of peace talks. All I know is very shortly after there was missiles being launched, and it's a crapshoot. And now there's this back and forth of it was a violation, it wasn't a violation. Lebanon apparently wasn't included in it. I don't fucking know. Like it's all very confusing, and I'm getting different. I don't want to say I'm getting different conflicted information from different news sources, but it seems like different news sources are they're focused on different things, right? You've got one over here that's focused on Lebanon, you got one over here that's focused on what Iran is doing with the Straits, and you've got another one more focused on what we're doing, and I'm trying to decipher the code of what's going on. And I'll tell you what, it's really got me thinking this is more by design than I ever thought it was before, because the news of it all is so confusing. Now, don't get me wrong. News is always confusing, okay? News media has been confusing since we had print because people report the latest, greatest information. They barely ever redact anything and they just print the next thing. And just to give you guys a sense of how long this has been going on, guys, go back and look up newspaper articles from the Titanic crash. You will see conflicting news articles, headline newspaper, conflicting articles. So many survived, so many dead. Each article was different. So this isn't a new problem. This isn't a problem just in 2026. This is something that's been going on for years. And usually when I start seeing news stories get very convoluted, I tend to stay away from them. Because when it starts becoming work to process this shit, I'm like, okay, I'm being fed bullshit in some capacity here. So I'm stepping away for a while. And we're just going to see how things pan out. And I think that's what this is right now. Now, I have been seeing different random things that make me think that this is going to get and I've talked about this, you know, the gas and the oil industry in the US and everything. But I think I've landed on something. So I think that industry is going to be coming back to the U.S. I think that is part of the design of this fuckery. So let me tell you what happened this past week. So John Deere had settled the lawsuit finally with the right to repair with the farmers. The right to repair lawsuit that was filed against John Deere, and John Deere agreed to pay out $99 million. Okay, so that was done. Now, in lieu of this, farmers are starting to speak out against corporations. Like it's happening. I mean, it's been happening for a while, but it's getting bigger because now these farmers have the power of social media. So farmers are trying to bring things direct to consumer and bypass corporation, okay, which I think is just absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. I think that they should, right? I would much rather prefer to buy something directly from the farmer than go to fucking Walmart. I would much rather prefer to go directly to the farmer than to the grocery store and take the middleman out of the equation and get fresher, better things sent directly to me versus sitting on a truck shipped to a store, sitting in cold storage, eventually making it to the shelf when there's room for it, and a bunch of people picking through it, deciding which head of lettuce is best for them, etc. Right? So I think it's better. Now, what we've seen over the years, take a trip back in your mind. So back in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, we didn't have commercial giants. We didn't have a grocery store on every fucking corner. That wasn't a thing. But also with that, we were not we were still importing goods, but it was not in this crazy ass capacity that we are now. So, I mean, when you really think about this and you break this down, you have to think about how much waste is actually happening. Like when foods, like places like Walmart and different grocery stores have to keep items stocked on the shelves. When they don't sell and they go bad, they get tossed. So prices have to be increased to compensate for loss, right? Things have to be bought in bulk, a lot of the time being fucking imported to the US and bought for pennies on the dollar, and then, way overpriced by the time it hits our shelves, in hopes that they make a profit before the items go bad. And that's just how it goes. Now notice if you haven't been in a fucking grocery store lately, notice how the produce section, your fresh produce section, is like the smallest part of that grocery store. And your processed food aisles are the biggest. Like it's crap, okay? It's mind-blowing. If you actually sit down and you look at these stores and you think about it, the produce section is like the smallest section of the store. Now, they try to make it appear big, right? Like you go into a Walmart and you see how their produce stands are set up, right? They're like, oh, okay, so you've got your big stand here that has your stalks of celery and your lettuce and a couple fresh fruits and everything else. Then what do they do with the rest of the store? They put big, bulky, fucking random ass stands in that you have to walk around with, oranges on this side, lemons on the other side, apples over here, grapes over here. And it's this like weird build out that they did to make the produce section seem big and glorious. But in all reality, that shit could all go on one shelf or two shelves. Like it's by design to make it seem bigger and better. Like, oh, they have all this fresh produce. Let's spend all this time in the produce section. It's really not all that. And I know this because we shop for a restaurant. Okay, so I don't go in all the time shopping just as a consumer. We're shopping for things in bulk, and we're buying the staples that we need to keep the restaurant going. So, in the grand scheme of things, with that, you start seeing how, like, if I have to go in there, if my wife's like, hey, I need you to run down to Walmart, we ran out of bell peppers and we need more bell peppers. How many do you need? I need 30. Do you know how hard it is to find 30 fucking bell peppers on the produce shelf at Walmart that are actually in decent shape that we could use? 30. Not one or two for dinner, but fucking 30 to get us through a few days. Now, you would think to yourself, in that giant, glorious produce stand, they've got more than fucking 30, they'd have 30 peppers or more hanging out there that are good. But no, that's not the case. It is overly glorified. And you guys know when you buy the shit and you throw it in your refrigerator or wherever, you know how quickly that shit goes bad. A few days, you're like, shit, I just bought that. It's already bad. Well, that shit happens when it's sitting on the shelves too. So a long-winded tangent to talk about the imports in this bullshit market, but trying to bring this back to the consumer directly from the farmer is what I think the direction we're going to go in is. And some of these farmers are now speaking out saying, hey, we were getting paid more for these products in the fucking 90s before these corporations took over. Diesel didn't go down to where it was in the 90s. Equipment's not going down to where it was in the 90s. Taxes aren't going down to where it was in the 90s. So why the fuck are we paying? Why the hell are we selling this shit to corporations this cheap when our expenses are only on the rise? And they're starting to realize, shit, online marketing's a thing and websites are a thing. And, boom, this is the direction we need to go in. And it's starting to happen. Now, it's not just that. Also, what I'm starting to see is a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, there's rumblings again to bring oil production back to the U.S., to bring back the fracking, to bring back more mining, to bring it back. Now, it's always in the rumblings, but this time it seems like there's more gas being thrown on the fire, so to speak. People are more passionate, like we have to bring back production, like the economy's going into the shitter. Gas is through the roof. Goods are through the roof. Like, we need to start doing shit here again. What the hell? And then something else that I've been seeing more of, which I can't say it's just been a recent thing. It's been a thing for the last few years, is companies that are pushing American products, like companies that are saying we only sell American goods or we only use American suppliers. That's been the forefront of people's advertising lately. And I'm seeing more of that, which again is fantastic. Now, I think that if you kind of wrap all these things in one, I think Americans are getting just sick to death of high prices for overseas bullshit. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with a guy that had to replace a part on his vehicle. And he was telling me, he says, I can't believe how much this part cost and, what a pain in the ass it is to change. And he said it was a starter. And he's like, if they just would have made those, if they would have just made it out of a little bit thicker of a material, like made those splines just out of a little bit thicker of a material, this wouldn't be a problem on this vehicle. And I'm like, yeah, but if they did, you wouldn't have to buy a new one. Like it wouldn't go bad. Then what? Now you think about the cost it takes a company to just be like, hey, we're going to make this a little thicker so it's more durable. That's fractions of a cent. Like it's such a small, minute cost when you're designing a new product in manufacturing. You're talking about literally fractions of cents in difference for quality is what these people are trying to save to maximize profits. And then guess what? It breaks, you got to get a new one probably from them. So they win twice. And as we were having this conversation, I was like, yeah, it's everything is designed to break, so you have to buy more. That's it. And I'm sorry, like I think I've drawn I think I've drawn a line in the sand. Whenever I'm looking at vehicles, and what's crazy is I could see if I was in like my fucking 60s or 70s or 80s saying this, but I'm not. 13 years ago, I bought a house. Today, that same money I paid for that house is not enough to buy a new pickup truck that I want to buy. So how the fuck can you tell me that a truck is going to cost more than a house within a 13-year fucking time difference? How in the fuck is that possible? And you're going to tell me this shit's not going to come crashing the fuck down? The craziest thing is I see people struggle but waste money uncontrollably. They're fucking broke, but spend money on the stupidest shit and the most useless things, man. And I just don't get it. I don't understand it. It does not compute. I don't get it. And I would like to think that there's some kind of a means to an end to this, but there's not. But when you take this full circle and you look at the idea of we've got this overseas conflict going on right now and things are escalating. They don't seem like they're calming down. It seems like there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel and then like it's boom, shit pops off again. The only thing that this has successfully done for Americans is increase price. And eventually it's going to come to a head where, okay, we're going to have to get back to basics here. And we're going to have to start doing things again in this country. And I've always been one that's been for more manufacturing in this country. We need more business, industry, and manufacturing in this country. We are importing ourselves to death. And, it's this common thing I go back to in my mind. It's like, we have these younger people working as fast food workers and baristas and consistently complaining this is not enough money to pay the bills. Well, you fuckers ran everything out of here that was making good money. Like, we traded out steel mills for McDonald's. We traded out textile jobs and factory jobs for fucking Walmarts to sell people overseas products that they don't fucking really need, man. That's what this has came down to. And the sad part is there's no fucking regulation on this shit. There's no cap that says you can only import so many products to a certain zip code, city, town, location, or per capita. Like, why is there not a written rule or written law that says 50% or more of the products that you sell in this town have to be American made? Why is that not a fucking thing? And just under the guidelines of stimulating our own economy and keeping jobs in the US. Why is that not a thing? Do you know, like, it just kills me when I think about this idea that everybody buys this imported crap, wants more money to buy the imported crap while they're working shit jobs that are starter jobs. And then these are the same dickheads that want to complain about, go green and this, that, the other, as they're paying extra for shit from their crappy jobs to order it from fucking China that's being brought over here on a ship that's burning shit tons of fuel. Make it make sense, because it doesn't. But we've been bred and we've just been predisposed to get whatever you want, have whatever you want. That's the American dream. And now we're breeding in this sense of fucking entitlement into the youth that they think that they could just have whatever and they don't have to work for it. It's just everybody's job to continuously take care of them. There's no good ending to this fucking story. There's none. And the idea of what these younger people are going to do later in life, like they don't put value into anything anymore. They're just living their lives, bouncing around, following the leader and following whatever they're told to listen to in the media. And hate this, we won't tell you why, but hate this and buy this. And they're just good little consumers in this machine that's been created. Don't you think for a second it would make a hell of a lot of sense if everybody just kind of stopped and did a good personal assessment and say, hey, what can I improve on, really improve on in my life to be more beneficial to this country? Like, should I stop buying imported cheese? Should I stop buying foreign car brands? Should I not work for a company that's based out of Indonesia? Should I try to get a job that makes and manufactures products that we sell in the US? But that's not like that thought process is not bred into people anymore. They don't care where their money comes from. Money's green. It buys more things. That's what it is. There's no concept of savings. And that's something else that was bred out of us too. That was bred out of the youth. When there was, I don't know, I want to say this was about 10 years ago. People were on this kick where your money's going to be useless, so don't save it. Banks aren't giving anything for interest anymore. Don't worry about saving your money. Just spend it. That was a common thing people were talking about. Now imagine if you saved all your money, put it in your bank, even with those shitty interest rates, what you'd be sitting on right now. I don't know. The narrative is fucked. I'm exhausted. I think we're in a bad way currently with this conflict, and the media ping-ponging back and forth with all these different things is just telling me they're wanting us to not know what the fuck is going on and confuse the shit out of us, because I'm pretty damn confused right now myself, and I think that only spells trouble. Like, bad things are on the horizon. I think we've heard it before, the Great Reset, I think it's coming very soon. Anyway, keep your head on a swivel. Keep an eye on what's going on in the media. When you guys see these different stories coming out, like, and they're ping-ponging back and forth, you'll see what I'm talking about. And you're like, who the fuck keeps up with this? I don't know. If you can keep up on it and you can keep up with it, then fuck, you're better than I am. That's all I got to say, because it's confusing the shit out of me right now. Anyway, that's all we got. Producer Scooter, sir. Wow, you're looking lovely. If you would, sir, hit that button.
News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.